guys, this is Pedram Raofi from Gerchik Co and you're watching the markets review for today, and you're going to check the news background first of all. Then you're going to check the predictions about different type of assets which we actually check every time, every week. And you're going to go through the stock market indexes, going to check them, stock markets of the United States, and then go through the Forex pairs, main popular Forex pairs. And we're going to finish today's program as always by the analyzing of price analyzing of the cryptocurrencies, the main cryptocurrencies. And if we have more time, we can actually check more cryptocurrency assets as well. As you maybe heard from previous week, mainly from yesterday, actually, if we can say, there went out a really important news about gold exports of Russia, which have been banned by the new G7, as we say, boycott, which is related to the war crimes of Russia in Ukraine, and which is related to the whole tendency of the sanctions improvements by Western countries against Russia. As you maybe understood, this kind of sanctions are going to tighten the Russians' oil and gas exports as well. And there is some suspicions not only about the gold prices rising, but as well about the oil prices rising, about which Goldman Sachs just some days ago said that there is some suspicion about the oil prices rising to $140 per barrel, which could happen after some more strength sanctions improvement against Russian gas exports to Europe. So most of them are going to use the crude oil than gas, and they're going to kind of change the resource of energy from natural gas to oil. We're actually going to see what to all of these sectors. We're going to check all the sectors prices, gas, oil as well, energy sector. And as we see from the heat map, actually, there is some disappointment on the technology and industries of the United States, but energy segment and the healthcare as well are rising as like as it was meant to be, actually, financial utilities, as you know, energy sector and healthcare. So let's go and watch what kind of what we have due to the what is going on with the main United States indexes, stock market indexes. And we're going to start from S&P 500 as always. From previous time, if you remember, we were approving that prices have been retested 3,600, which was the last target level. After the retest, which we told you from 2 weeks ago, from 1 week ago, the prices are going to reverse. And here we see one jump, second jump, and as we see, all of these jumps are happening during weekends, as like as these downward jumps, these downward rallies from previous week. If you remember, we had broke through the local minimums, we broke them, and now we're again above them. But all of this movements, the main movements happened and have been realized after the weekends, and this is the main reason why we should say that these movements are all meant to be the impact of some of the regulators money transfer, and that's not the market actually. Market is waiting for further downturn, further falling of the markets, but of the S&P 500 prices and the other stock market prices. But this trend is going to be not that sharp, as we remind you from previous months, despite some of the analysts telling that markets have to, like, fall down really sharply and really heavily. But as we see, this is not what is going on. And as we told you, this movement is going to be a little bit slower. $4,000, as we told you, is now getting retested. So from previous time, we told you the prices from previous Friday or from previous Thursday. We told you that prices after the retest of 3,600 are going to rise, and they're going to rise further to 4,000 and maybe 4,100, but it's really under question. So 4,100 is really looking not that much possible, but we can say that 4,000 maybe is going to be retested, and prices are further going to maybe retest this level and get into some consolidational movement again, fall again, and just continue to consolidate. So for now, we're just waiting for the retest of 4,000 and the next reversal. This reversal could actually happen after the retest of 4,100. So $4,000, 4,100 are the levels after the test of which we are waiting for some reversal due to S&P 500 index. Let's go further and watch what is going on with Dow Jones Industrial Index of the United States stock market. As we see here, Dow Jones meant to be actually to move exactly the same. So $30,000 have been retested. We told you that prices are not going to go under this level. They're not going to fall further under this level because it's a really important psychological level, $30,000. So prices during last week and this week are doing only, they are strengthening above this level, which was about which we had already spoken during previous programs, that prices are not going to break through $30,000. They're just going to reverse from it, and this correctional movement is now continuing. And as we told you, $32,000 is a target level, which have to get retested. And after the test of this level, we wait for reversal. We wait for some consolidation and the reverse and the price return to downward trend. So as we told you from previous week, that this week is going to be a little bit upward, but at the end of it, prices are going to retest the local maximum, prices are going to retest the local resistance, and then they're going to just reverse and fall further. Nasdaq index, which is a high-tech United States high-tech index of stock market, have been reversed from 11,000 and now it's retesting 12,000. As we said, 12,500 as well could get retested, but you should know that 12,000, 12,500 are the levels after the test of which prices are going to reverse, are going to stop to rise at least for some time. They're going to consolidate and then they're going to continue to fall. So next comes the dollar index prices, about which we are going to now talk. And before that, I'm going to check the economy calendar of this week, so we would know what is going on with the Forex market, at least with dollar, with euro, with pound, and then we're going to check the prices of the dollar and main Forex pairs. For today, we have some releases from United States, which could be important. Negative predictions, consumer confidence of June. For tomorrow, from Australia, we have some releases which are as well negative. So that's the main reason why Australia is not really rising. Australia was the main exporter of the raw materials to China, and China have been kind of shrink the activity industrial activity after the pandemic. And the main reason why Australia is not kind of getting to previous numbers, New Zealand as well, is that only China just shrinked this industrial activity, and that's a problem which actually they need to deal with. And mostly Australian dollar and New Zealand are kind of getting a little bit weaker and weaker by the time. And as we see, the main reason actually is that it's kind of related to China. It was related to China. It was related to the supply chain problems. So from Britain, tomorrow we have some Bank of England Governor Bailey, Andrew Bailey speaks. And from United States at 12:30 by GMT is a really important release of gross domestic products for quarter 1, which is not changing. That could be good news actually if it's still above that level, or at least not to fall further into a deficit. From United States as well, Fed Chair Powell at 13 o'clock at 1 p.m., which is important. So crude oil inventories of this week haven't, it doesn't have a really prediction, so we're just not going to tell anything about it. And mostly the main thing about which we could say about oil prices, that in the near future the demand on oil is going to get higher and higher, because the demand on Russian gas is getting a little bit lower despite Asian countries buying it. But don't be that pessimistic about gas prices, because gas is going to rise anyway. $6 have been retested, as we told you from previous time, and prices are going to rise only because the demand on gas is not kind of really changing for now, and just news and some rises of supply of import of Russian gas import have been done that damage to gas prices mostly. But actually now they're ready for a run as well, the gas prices, and we're gonna check them during this program. Thursday, China manufacturing PMI, which is falling a little bit, not so bad. GDP, the gross domestic product of Britain, is not changing. I wish it would be like that, because it could be less than the predictions or previous data. In German unemployment change, more deficits, which is better anyway, because that's an unemployment release, so more deficit is actually good. So 12:30 at Thursday, initial jobless claims of United States, which is a little bit getting lower. Numbers are really strange. Really strange. It really looks like that they just want Federal Reserve System for last moments, for last maybe days, to just keep the tight monetary policy. It just really looks that job market is they're kind of regulating these numbers, so Federal Reserve System couldn't start to stop this tightened monetary policy, to stop this interest rate hiking, because they really need it, and the bad releases from job markets could actually help the situation by stopping Federal Reserve System to hike interest rates further. The gross domestic product of Canada is getting lower, but oil prices could actually save Canadian dollar in the future, so we don't have to be really worried about Canadian dollar. JPY under really high pressure, and as you know, JPY have been really weakened during last half of a year, because of the new Premier Minister monetary policy changing to approve more stimulus, more economic stimulus in the case that economy is kind of really showing not the really great numbers, and all of this is making yen, making Japanese yen to kind of fall further. It means that you dollar to yen, euro to yen have some chances, some potential for next weeks at least to rise further. And there's interesting levels which could actually get retested in the near future. We're gonna show you all of them, and we're gonna actually see now what is going on with the forex market. So dollar prices, as we told you from previous time, have been reversed from 106, and now they're really under pressure. So this movement is not really telling me that prices are going to fall further, but nearest and nearest movement could be really impulsive. This impulsive movement could be upward and downward as well. Because of the SMI location, I cannot say that this impulsive movement could be downward. Mostly, I think that this impulsive movement could be upward. There's no reasons due to the economic calendar for it. We have to actually check the oil prices as well, so we would know is dollar has some chances to rise further. I think that it doesn't, because oil prices have been bottomed some days ago, I think, and it started to rise again. And it's not, it's oil prices nowadays is not around the local maximums. And other moments, Bitcoin prices have been bottomed as well. It would mean that the stock market is going to rise. Stock market is going to bottom after Bitcoin, and this would make dollar prices to not to rise that much. So here, I don't think that the impulsive speculative movement is going to be downward. I think that this speculative movement could be upward, could be bullish, after which prices are going to again get into the consolidation, fall further, or at least doesn't even fall, but just continue to consolidate and inside some really tight corridors like this, continue to move under the local maximums of 106, 105, 104. So this would be more realistic. Let's go for and see what is going on with euro prices. Euro to United States dollar. I really cannot observe any kind of divergence here. We have a shrinking of volatility, and we have a really great retest of a mirror level of 1.060. 1.060, 1.078, there are the levels after the test, which mostly prices have to fall further. But just wait a little bit for this pair. Maybe it would show us what it exactly is going to do. So I think that mostly the nearest impulse here is going to be bearish, and it's going to continue to 1.046, maybe 45, and then after the price are going to get into upward phase and just continue to rise. This movement would actually show that prices of euro, pound, Australian dollar, and New Zealand dollar, most of them are ready for some reversal. This is actually the reversal in the trend of dollar, about which we have been telling you, for example, from 2 months ago, that we are waiting for it. It's kind of forming now, but it haven't yet formed. So pound prices, let's see what's going on with you. It have to be the same. So let's say that psychological level of 1.20 is a really important level. It's just going to get retested again, maybe, but it's not going to it's not going to be broken through. And I don't think the prices are going to stop under it. And if something like that even happens, you just need to know that mainly we're going to have some low amplitude of the price action, which would mean that even if we are located under 1.2, it doesn't matter. Prices are going to reverse. Prices are going to return above it and just continue to rise. Only because of a low amplitude, if something like that happens. Impulsiveness of the downward movement in the near future could be the faster signal of a reversal, of a continuation of the strengthening of the prices. in the near future. But we needed to actually kind of realize that after that prices could continue to rise from 1.20, 1.22 and to 1.24, 1.28 maybe during some weeks or some week. Wonder. Australian dollar reversal, really visible, important psychological and a mirror level of 0.70. Don't forget about it. Australian dollar is a really has a really important level which is now testing, and I don't think that prices are going to stop under this level. Mostly this kind of movement, lowering of the amplitude after the breakthrough of an important support could mean that prices are not going to go further. They're not going to fall further. They're actually going to strengthen above this level and continue to rise. Don't forget that if we could have some downward impulses on euro or on GB or pound, doesn't mean that Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar have to do that same movement, because Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar has a straight correlation with oil prices, and they're more powerful than euro or pound. New Zealand dollar to United States dollar, the same picture. 0.63, 0.64 are the levels that are going to get retested. Prices are going to retest 0.64 mostly and go higher. But don't be really afraid if prices of the NZD or prices of Audi kind of retest the local minimums. It doesn't mean the prices are going to fall further. Now we just wait for oil prices reversal. We just wait for to reversal upward. We now wait for dollar prices to reversal downwards. So this would be a little bit crazy to think that prices of Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar could really continue to fall. WTI prices, the crude oil prices, about which we told you, we're going to get into the sector of energy sector. So reversal haven't happened from previous time actually. The amplitude of upward movement is kind of really low, but we have to pay attention that 1010 is a really important level above which we have to buy. 110, 109, sorry, 110, 108, let it be, is a really important range above which we need a further strengthening, so we could say the prices are going to rise. But don't forget that here and now oil has potential of a speculative bearish rally. So it means that prices could retest 108 even in the near future, could retest impulsively 106 in the near future. So 106, 108 in near future for oil prices is the range after the retest of which, after the impulsive retest of which we are waiting for some reversal and the continuation of upward movement. So that's a really important reversal. That's a really beautiful reversal actually, and it has to continue. And just maybe for some days we are going to get into some speculative movement. So we don't really need to be that much pessimistic, but you just need to know that oil is really got a potential of some speculative downward movements in the nearest days, which would help dollar prices to a little bit rise further. So. And the natural gas, which started to rise from previous time. As we told you, natural gas after the test of 76 and 50 cents haven't reversed and actually retested $6. I didn't wait for that. I thought that prices are going to reverse from 6 and 5, but this movement now with a really lowerness of the amplitude, it looks really speculative, and I don't think that bears has had a chance to continue the sells in the nearest 2 or 3 weeks. So my idea is that in the nearest 2 or 3 weeks at least, prices of gas is going to maybe even break through local maximums and maybe even retest 9, 10, 10, 50, or even $11. So that's my idea about natural gas. Just be careful if you're a bear. I don't think that we have bear potential on the market. I don't think so. United States dollar to Canadian dollar is this pair has a opposite correlation with oil prices because of Canadian dollar. And if you remember, 1 and 30 was a really important target level after the test, which we told you that you don't have to buy, and prices have been reversed for that. And we told you that prices are going to continue to fall. Price is not continuing to fall, and 1.28 is the next level after the test, which we are waiting for some reversal, maybe in the midterm, but this won't be reversal. This could be just a movement like here, for example. So 1.28, 1.27, let's say, 1.28, 1.2750. So let's be a little bit conservative. 1.2750, 1.28 is a range after the test of which we wait for some stop in downward movement. So it would be consolidational movement. It would be some downward channel inside which prices would continue to fall more moderately and not that fast as we see here. So just wait for some consolidation near to 1.28, 1.2750, and then maybe prices could a little bit make some more speculative bullish movements, but after that actually dollar doesn't really have a chance, doesn't really have a chance to rise that much, because dollar is now waiting for the change in the rhetoric of the Federal Reserve System chairman, Jerome Powell, and oil prices are going to rise. This dollar to Mexican peso as well has a opposite correlation with oil prices because of the Mexican peso, and this downward movement have been a little bit paused around the psychological level of 20. So even in the case of oil prices rising in the near future, this pair won't fall. Don't be shocked. Don't be surprised, because this pair is 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 speculative. It's really manipulative, speculative, and Mexican bank actually has his own levels of the inflation and the levels of price controlling, so it won't just let the prices of Mexican peso of the dollar to fall to Mexican peso under 20, for example, under maybe 1980. So 1980, 1960 is actually the last range. But even in the case of oil prices rising, I think that prices of this pair won't fall further, fall that much, fall that fast as we, for example, observe here. Be so careful about this pair. This pair is really related and get a really high impact from bank policy of Mexican bank, not only oil prices because of the inflation, so of Mexican peso, of course. And let's go through the commodity prices. So defensive assets: gold, silver, palladium, platinum. 1,800 was a really important level after the retest, which we told that prices are not going to fall that much, but they are not going to rise as well. That was our rhetoric from month or 2 months ago, because the main reason is that stock market is not going to fall that much. Oil prices are rising, and despite all of this, dollar prices is rising because of the um, inflation and because of the monetary policy tightening of Federal Reserve System. But maybe in the near future we could observe the simultaneous rising of the stock market and gold prices, only because of the uh, monetary policy hiking and monetary policy tightening stop. So This would be really possible, but not for now. 1800 is really getting retested again, so prices are shrinking, volatility is shrinking. We have a retest of this level. This level could be retested with an impulse like here, but I don't think that prices are going to stuck under it and fall further. Even if something like that happens, we are going to have a really shrink volatility, which won't um, allow you to further short the positions. So about silver, you just need to be a little bit conservative. Silver just needs some other reasons. Gold and silver, I mean, the commodities. Now they're under real high pressure because of the high inflation and the predictions, and because of the monetary policy hiking of the United States. European bank is not going to do that. Chinese bank actually kind of continuing it, and mostly, if you didn't know, the Russian bank could continue to do it, even despite all of this problems with tough ruble. But this could really happen. So for gold, I don't think that prices are going to fall that much, but they could rise, and all of the commodities they could rise. But we just need some speculative moments to just end, and after that, most prices are going to reverse and start to hike. So for gold is 1,100, for silver is $20, but 21 is the nearest range. So we just need the retest of this range again. For now, prices exactly are retesting this range. I think that prices are, for now, are kind of reversing even from this level. Platinum prices, beautiful retest, really beautiful retest, false breakthrough, and as I told you, I wait for reversal from 900. I don't know why, but I wait for it. I think that prices from this level are going to reverse and are going to rise further, and I just wait for the reversal from 900. I don't believe the prices are going to stuck under it or fall further after the breakthrough of this level. 880 is a great level as well, but I don't think that 900 is going to be the level after the breakthrough of which prices are going to fall further. So 880 could be the last, for example, um, border. Palladium prices under real high pressure, but it's not falling. And as you know, palladium is a sanctional asset, so it's under sanctions. And as many other assets, it's not really falling. It's waiting, just waiting for next rise of the price. Um, in the near future, we could we could get some more bigger problems. That's logical. For example, food crisis and inflation, which is not helping it. And don't forget that situation in Russia could kind of change as well. And you know, that situation when or we are going to wait for some wider warfare, for example, in Lithuania and the other countries, or we are waiting for some changing of the policy inside the country. So the price of assets, commodities, defensive assets are ready for the jump. But when it's going to happen, or before it happens, we could get some speculative bearish market. We could get it, and we could get even really disappointed because of it. But don't forget that for this kind of situation, we really need to, for example, for oil prices, for gold prices to fall that much, we really need a really high jump of stock market, which is not really possible, and gold as well is not giving the positions buying position. So all of the commodity like palladium as well. If you see the position here is tightly having defended, and $2,000 is a really important level, a mirror level, which is now get retested, is getting retested, and prices mainly are going to strengthen further above it and just um, continue to rise mainly. United States dollar to CHF, to the Swiss franc, and to Japanese yen. Japanese yen and Swiss franc as well are the assets of defense, the assets of risk. So this downward channel, shrinking volatility near to the local minimum, near the local supports, as I told you, is a really great signal of the reversal. But we are not waiting for that much of reversal of dollar prices, because CHF is kind of strong, but this movement is showing that even for CHF, now the time comes that just the central bank of Swiss cannot allow Swiss franc to get stronger that much against dollar to, for example, break through 0.95. So 0.95 is actually bank level. We can actually see it as a bank level. Maybe 0.94 could be get retested or get broken through, but mostly here we're going to have a really strong consolidational and consolidation movement and tighter volatility. United States dollar to Japanese yen is with it really better. The Japanese yen is really easier to trade because Japanese yen is not be regulated to be stronger. It's actually been regulated for previous maybe decades to be not stronger than dollar, and just in the near future we could face some changes in the monetary policy of the Japanese bank, which is coming, but when it's going to actually get fulfilled and realized, we don't know. So here gold prices could actually play another role. So if gold prices start to rise, this pair would fall, but in which case gold prices start to rise. Here we can actually see that prices of Japanese yen showing us the divergence, and which is not a really good sign. So we are going to have a reversal, but when is it going to happen? Before this reversal come true and get realized, we have a potential of the upward speculative jumps to 138 to 140, which is a psychological level. So don't be that don't jump forward. Just you need to wait a little bit if you are bear for Japanese yen, $4 to Japanese yen. For now, there's no reason to sell it. Bitcoin prices to United States dollar. $17,000 have been retested, but prices now are not getting above 23. As we told you, $23,000 target level, 25,000, 27,000. Prices could retest these levels, but if something like that happened in the near future, that's a really bad signal, which would mean that prices are going to fall more. But from previous time till now, we are observing just consolidation. Which is not that good as well. But if we could get strengthened in the near future above $20,000, this would give us a chance to retest 23, maybe 25, 27. But it doesn't mean that that's a time to hold it. It just means that prices have been speculatively raised and then they're going to fall again and just go further to 15, maybe 1,000 to 13,000 at least. Bitcoin has to fall to those levels before it gets into the trend, into the bullish trend again. Ethereum prices as well. So here we have some chances of the speculative retest at 1,400, 1,600 maybe. But mostly we are going to fall further and maybe even deeper than 1,000 to go to 8 or maybe 6. But after that, after the 8 and 600, we are going to reverse, and maybe this would be the time to hold it. Not in the near future, we are going to actually test all of this level. So mostly in the nearest future, bullish speculations and then some downward move. Thank you guys. If you watched this video, don't forget to subscribe on the channel and ring the bell so you won't miss our programs further. Don't forget to check the official site of Gerchik Co. There you can actually find different type of instruments and courses for learning. They are actually you can actually own them with a really good sell-offs on the main site. There's different type of instruments for your platform, for your trading, and of course different courses for experts and for beginners as well. Don't forget to check all this information, and till next time, have good trading, take care of yourself, and bye bye.